Welcome to the 3 wildly simple steps to streamline your marketing, and we mean really, really simple steps. First of all, I'll give you a quick introduction to me so that you know a little bit more about the person behind the voice. My name's Sarah Williams. I'm the owner of Rebel Office, and some fun facts about me, just to get things, keep it a little casual. I was bitten by the travel bug a long time ago on my first trip to Brazil when I was 15 years old through school. And since then, I've been all over, from Morocco to Scotland to living in a camper van in Chile for a couple of weeks. Also, I love me the remote work lifestyle. I love the freedom and the flexibility that comes with it. Plus, it lets me spend all day with my adorable fur child Trigger, a golden retriever who is currently about 9 months old. I also love being outside and kayaking or skiing or hiking or swimming. And fortunately, because of the way that I built Rebel Office, my boyfriend and I bought a house on a gorgeous little lake that lets him fish and me tan and work. We're down a guest room because I turned it into my home office, but that's where all the magic happens. Ultimately, all of those things are why I'm in business. We all have different reasons, and mine is to design my dream life, which I'm super fortunate to already have, and to spend a ton of time with my adorable little family. Now, let's turn our attention to you now that I gave you a rundown on my own life. Tell me if this sounds like you. You see everyone else being super visible and consistent, but you can't seem to figure it out. You know you need to post more, but you don't have the time, or you feel like you have nothing to say. You just want someone to do it for you, but you can't make that investment right now. I totally understand all of those because I've experienced every single one. That's how I know you're feeling it. So know that you have nothing to worry about and that you'll survive it and you'll get past it and you'll push through it. And you're taking the very first step just by being here today. So let's jump right on in. Your time is precious, so we don't want to ramble on and get too crazy with stuff, and ultimately just keep it straight and to the point and short and sweet. So first we're going to go through the importance of consistency, which I'm sure you know, and it's just hard to put the steps in place to actually make sure that you're consistent, right? So then we're going to move into the 3 steps to overhauling your actual marketing process. And in the middle of that and afterwards, we'll talk about some tips and tricks, and I'm talking real ones that we use in Rebel Office and that I've built over the years of running Rebel Office. And last but not least, some simple and effective action items for you to put into place right away and start noticing a difference in your business and in your marketing efforts, obviously. So I found this quote, the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. That's super easy for this guy to say, am I right? Especially when you have a million other things going on and literally every single piece of marketing that you put out there feels forced and you're unsure if it's even going to work, let alone come off not like you're actually marketing. But when you take the time to get organized, not only in your marketing, but in your life and in the rest of your business, magic happens. What happens when you get organized? The world starts to take action in your favor. You show up more consistently and with a more clear message. More ideas come, making it easier to post with flow instead of force. You build trust and audience, and you sell with confidence. You go into every single situation selling and feeling more confident about what your business has to offer. And know that this not happening yet is okay. I was there. I understand exactly what it's like to want all of this, but not being able to figure out a way to get it. So there are 2 reasons why it hasn't happened yet. First of all, it takes time. And starting a business, we don't have a ton of time, or we think that we don't, because we're struggling to even figure out what the right steps are, let alone to have time to actually get organized and plan things out properly. But would you rather sit down and focus on your systems now and stop freaking out as early as today? Number 2, it takes planning, which is super hard when you don't even know what the right steps are to take. But that's why you're here, and I'm going to help walk you through what those steps are that you need to take in order to plan effectively. So number 1, make a plan to be great at a few, not mediocre at many. I tell this to every single client that we've had at Rebel Office when we talk marketing strategy. Don't spread yourself too thin because you feel like you need to be everywhere. Decide on 1 to 3 platforms that you should be on at first, and consider the combination of where you want to be online, what your strengths are, and where your business needs to be. So think about the industry. It's a combination of all of those factors, and I know it can be overwhelming. But think about where you want to be spending your time. If you hate Instagram and you know that your business doesn't necessarily need to be on Instagram because it could be elsewhere and you could be stronger there, then don't be on Instagram. Let's see. So to make a plan on figuring out, okay, well, where do you need to be? Where are you strongest at? Where do you want to be, and where do you want to spend your time? Because marketing is tedious. It takes a lot of time. A lot of people underestimate the amount of time that marketing does take. But when you have a plan for a specific platform and you can repurpose that content for other platforms that you've decided to also be strong at, it becomes a lot easier. So pick 2 to 3 platforms to focus on, as I said, or even just start with 1. Decide, okay, I'm going to commit to being very visible and consistent on Facebook. Okay, do that. Make it a priority to build your community on that platform. Community is huge. You need to have an engaging, committed community who supports you and is around and is interested in what you're saying, because they're your warmest leads. They're the ones that are going to buy from you first. So now brainstorm 3 to 5 ways that you can do this, and then narrow it down to what feels best for you and your business. So right now, pause this training, get out a notepad and pen, and think about, okay, well, this is the platform that I'm committing to. How can I now build a community on that platform? Think, what do you like to see on those platforms? When you're personally browsing through, you know what your target audience wants, because 9 times out of 10, you're an example of your target audience. So what do you like to see on the platform that you're committing to? How can you make your business's content unique from the stuff that you're seeing, but still relevant and enjoyable? And forget entirely, I don't have enough information or content to share, or I don't want to be too spammy. Don't worry about that. As soon as you start posting and commit to posting consistently, that information and that content and those ideas are going to come to you. So don't think, okay, well, I have these few ideas, so I've got to space them out over a certain amount of time. No, put them all out there and force yourself to come up with those new ideas. That's where the magic happens. On the right side of your screen are a few examples of platforms that you could start to commit to. If something stands out to you as something you've always wanted to try, write it down and make a note of it and commit to being awesome at it. So now, number 2 is where it starts to get fun. Do the work up front with templates. There's so much time spent on creating this new content and these new materials and these new graphics, when if you just had done a template up front, then you wouldn't have to keep recreating. You could simply plug and play content or that new information that you want to share with your audience. So a quick tip for you is to time block an afternoon. Make it this afternoon, make it sometime this week, to create those graphic templates or ebook templates that you've been meaning to create, instead of reinventing the wheel every single time. What I did, and not necessarily what you have to do, but it helped me a lot, is that I set the vacation autoresponder on my email on. I personally did it for 2 weeks with Rebel Office and overhauled everything, but if you're just going to focus on your marketing, then just set it for a couple of hours, and don't feel guilty about not responding to people right away or blocking out the world, because this is a must do for your business. Make it a priority. So what to do? There are different types of content that can make the most sense for the platforms that you want to use, and that you want to focus on for yourself and for your business. If you're not very good at writing and you're more visual and like creating pictures, then don't necessarily focus on, okay, well, everyone else is doing blog posts, so I have to be doing blog posts. No, make it work for you. So once you decide on the types of information that you should be putting or want to be putting up for your business, write down what templates you need to do and to create to excel on these platforms. So for example, if you commit to email marketing, okay, well now go into your email marketing service provider, if it's MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or whatever, and create a weekly newsletter template or an e-blast template or the type of template or the emails that you're going to be putting up there. If you're committing to Facebook and you know that people love quotes in your industry, okay, well go onto canva.com and create a quote graphic template or a testimonial template or a blog post graphic template. Write down all of the templates, that you need to create in order to get yourself in order, so that when you have this new idea and you're creating this new information, you can go in and quickly create the support graphics and content that you need to distribute quickly and right away and streamlined. A tip that we use in Rebel Office is so Canva, a lot of people create, if you haven't heard of it before, go check it out, canva.com. I'm personally a graphic designer, so I use my own design software mostly, but for simple graphics, I use Canva because it's quick and easy and it works for a ton of people out there. Just make sure that your branding is included and you're using the right colors and the right fonts, but they have a ton of options. So anyways, back to my point, that was a little sidetracked. Create a thread in Canva for your weekly content instead of by the type of content. So a lot of people will create graphics in Canva, so they'll have a document that has 30 pages of just their quotes that they want. What we've done in Rebel Office is instead we've had our weekly content developed in one thread. So, I mean, for Instagram, it's easy because the graphics are always going to be square. For Facebook, it's going to be easy because they're normally all the same size as well. So, you could share. Anyways, side note. So now, instead of recreating, so say you commit to, okay, well, once a week, I'm going to post 3 quotes, and I'm going to post 1 blog post and 1 or 5 just plain graphics with text or whatever you decide to do. You create that plan. Then you can go into Canva and create those graphics as you can see here. So there's a Real Talk Wednesday post, and then there's a quote, and then there's a graphic, and then there's a tutorial. So that is the content that we've lined out that we're going to do on a weekly basis. So we have it all in one document so that when you go back to Canva, then you can just replicate that and you have all of the templates for the information that you need that week, and you just replace the information. You replace the graphics, you replace the quotes, but you have it in the order that you're going to be publishing, so that when you export it, it exports for that week and you can simply schedule that week's content right away. Does that make sense? So now, number 3, once you're done and you know what templates that you need to create and you've gone and created those templates, now you need to create the space for your ideas. This could be sticky notes on a wall, pen and paper in a notebook, or to use apps such as like Trello, Evernote, or Asana. So you have all the templates, but now you're worried about, okay, well, how do I even come up with that much information? How do I create that amount of information that I need to share in that content? Make the space for it, because now you have everything in place that all you have to do is brainstorm and think and get creative and figure out what information represents your business best, because you already have the tools to go and make it. So here's an example for Rebel Office Weekly Read. It's our weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday morning. And as you can see here, so this is my desktop. This is a screenshot of my desktop. I created this graphic back here so that I could keep the files on my desktop organized. I'm a huge nerd like that. So right here is my finances spreadsheet because I'm really bad at tracking finances. So I made it super easy for me to be able to just click in right away and do that. And then this second one here is our marketing planning spreadsheet. And over here is a screenshot of it. So for our newsletter, there's the same amount of information that goes into every weekly read that goes out every Friday morning. So there's a quote of the week, there's a challenge for the week, and then there's an article that we link to that's normally here, but instead I put the link for the email in this case. It's normally there. That has a Rebel Office blog and a recommended kind of external industry read that we think is a really good resource for our audience. And then a promotion. So this is how we keep all of our information organized. And so then when I have an idea about, okay, this would be a really good challenge, then I go and plug it in for the next one that doesn't have any information. This is a great way that if you're sitting down and committing, okay, well, it's Monday morning, I'm going to commit 2 hours to just coming up with ideas and pre-planning. Okay, so now I open up the spreadsheet and I can Google a whole bunch of quotes and plug those in for the next month worth of emails so that I don't have to stress out when I go to schedule one to find all of this content. Okay, so I can sit down and go and pre-plan all of the challenges that I'm going to say for that month. And it's all there and it's all ready to go for when I go to schedule it, and I'm not freaking out saying, oh, okay, well, I need to find another article because I've already done that and I've already had the space to create that information. Another tip is notes. So there are different ways that you can obviously schedule it. For Rebel Office blog posts, we don't do it like this anymore, but I'll show you what we do now. It's the next slide, but this is what we were doing. So we would have the category and the tag and then the name of the blog. These stars are ideas that I haven't gone back and actually written blog posts for yet. So this is how I had originally organized content. So it's super easy to get to. It's just down in this bar down here, the notes guy right there. So every time that I would have an idea or a few ideas, then I would just go and plug it in here and put a star beside it if I wasn't ready to totally write it, but I wanted to make sure, or I didn't have the time, but I wanted to make sure that I had the idea out there so I wouldn't forget. And now this is what we actually do. So we use Asana as our content hub, which is awesome if or when you also outsource someone to create or even just distribute your information. Then all of the content that you use is all in one place for them to grab or for you to grab, or you guys can collaborate on whatever. It's a really good resource for that. Obviously, there are other tools out there, not just Asana, that you can do this with. I set our content boards up, this content project is what it's called, up as boards. So Trello also is structured the same way as these boards instead of in a list format. So both are really good options that I recommend you looking into. But yeah, so we have our blog post ideas here that we go back similar to this. It's just structured on here now. And then our weekly newsletters. So now it has all of the information. So when I do my pre-planning in that document, I'll just copy and paste it into here for my VA, and then she'll go and take that information from there and plug it into the newsletter. And then, so Facebook group posts, stuff that we need to post not only on our Facebook page, but also in groups to get the reach out. And then these are some external articles that are really good for people in our industry that we think they should read, etc., which is really good for repurposing for our newsletter and for our Facebook and LinkedIn page, etc. So this is another option that you need a place where you can go and dump all of your ideas. And whether or not you have the time to do it right away, you're saving it so that when you do have time and you are feeling inspired and you're in the mood, or you know that you just need to get it done, so you're going to discipline yourself to sit down and do it, then you have it all ready to go and you have your ideas laid out so that you can just get it done. Okay? How does that sound for everybody? I know it's a lot and I'm throwing a lot at you. So let's just do a quick recap. Number 1, commit to being consistent. Decide on those platforms that you want to be on, and decide on the content that needs to go up on them. So make that plan is number 2. Number 3 is put in the work up front, not later. So that's what the templates, get that done so that you're not stressing out every time that you need to publish something or that you need to put something out there, because you need to be consistent, right? You've made that commitment to being consistent. So have it ready for you to be consistent. It doesn't need to be challenging. You just need to do that little bit of work up front to have those templates so that you can plug and play your information. And then number 4 is create space for your ideas, which we just went over. Just make sure that you have a space to be able to, you're going to feel inspired. As you work on your business, you're going to come across challenges. You're going to come to realizations about your customer and your target audience that you want to share with them. So create that space to dump those ideas down for when you're ready to get to work and create those ideas and realize those ideas. How does that all sound? Does it still feel overwhelming, or do you feel like you might actually be able to handle it? It's okay if it still does feel a bit overwhelming, and the biggest tip that I can give you is don't let yourself shut it down and don't let yourself ignore it or procrastinate it. Taking the time to create a simplified plan, remember simple, remember stick to those platforms that you want to focus on, and then grow from there. So taking the time to create that simplified plan can start to help you realize that it's actually manageable. So the challenge now is figuring out what tools to use, which is why I actually have an amazing opportunity for you if you're interested in hearing it. Obviously, if you're not, just shut it down, but bear with me if I've been kind of on the money with everything. I think you're really going to be interested. So tell me, is this you? You're overwhelmed by the amount of options and information out there. You're unsure about what the right path to take in your business is. You wish someone would just tell you what the right thing to do is and stop beating around the bush. But with all of the confusion and frustration, you know it's time to pull up your pants, get to work, and make your business finally the success it deserves to be. Introducing Workload Rehab. It's a 6-module online course that Rebel Office is getting ready to launch. It's not ready yet. It's not ready. It is ready, but it's not out in the world yet. We're running a beta program first, which means that I'm looking for 15 entrepreneurs who are ready to get their business in order and their lives back. By participating in the beta program, you'll get a mega discount, a totally revitalized and organized business, and access to a community of fellow entrepreneurs all wanting their business to get better together. So here's what we cover. It's a lot, so I'll just go over it quickly. So the first module is business design. It's figuring out how you need your business to be and how it needs to be designed in order to work for you instead of you working for it, right? Because that's what we all want. Module 2 is all about process mapping, so figuring out, okay, not only what are you doing now that could be improved, but okay, now what should you be doing to meet that original business design? Number 3 is project management. So it'll help walk you through whether you sell products or work with services. You still need to bring that client or customer on board. You need to deliver to them effectively and exceed their expectations. And then you need to offboard them so that they have a way of reconnecting and coming back and buying from you again. Number 4, module 4 is administrative. Sorry, there's a mistake here. I'll fix that after. Number 4 is administrative. So from your finances, to hiring, support, and goal setting, this module is all about being the behind the scenes and what tools you need to actually run your business efficiently and to stay stress-free and to make your success happen. Module 5 is a big one. It's marketing, which is probably the most beneficial to you guys considering you're here. And you know that you need to show up and be visible and consistent online. And this module is all about taking the actions that you need to take to create that consistent content and figuring out the basics of email marketing because I actually just got off a bunch of market research calls, and every single person that I talked to said their biggest frustration was email marketing. So Module 5 dives really deep into how to actually set that up to work for you instead of just copycatting what other people are doing, because you're not going to be successful that way. And then, of course, social media automation, best practices, what you should be doing in the marketing world, specifically customized to you, finding the exact right plan for you and giving you those tools to be able to excel in that. And Module 6 is all about accountability and sustainability. So how do you develop those daily routines and the effective ways to time block so that you stay accountable and so that you can put everything in this course to work and make it actually work for you, so you're not just going through it and doing a few of these things and be like, oh, okay, well, like that was nice, but I guess I'll just go back to my own ways now. No, it's a habit, being organized and being focused on and committed to overhauling your workload and being more efficient. It's a commitment, and it's a process to build those habits. So what you get, lifetime access to the material, including any new stuff that goes onto it, access to a VIP community through Facebook. It's exclusive to members of Workload Rehab. You also get bonus trainings and tutorials that I'll throw in that are super detailed and super practical. And I'm here to show you what I do. And you can decide if it works for you or if you see a better way of doing it for your business. That's what's going to happen. You also get unlimited email and text support for 6 weeks. And then, of course, for all of the beta participants, you get 2 weeks of post-course one-on-one email and text support. So that when you go in and you've worked through all of the modules, you still have Rebel Office keeping you accountable, and you still have us pushing you to build those systems and those habits, and it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in these 6 modules that are technically designed to go 1 module per week, but I understand that it's a lot. That's why you have lifetime access, so that if things get away from you, then you can always go back and work on them. But ultimately, this program is for you if you're ready to commit and make those changes happen in your business. So make that commitment if you want to be a part of the beta program to buckle down and get the work done. And we're here to help you with that. So are you ready to feel confident in your business? Are you ready to take your time back for the things that matter to you? Are you ready to finally feel on top of your shit and start kicking ass as your business grows? This 6th module, which actually has 19 plus trainings total, for beta participants, is only $447 Canadian, which is only roughly $356 US dollars approximately. So early bird for the real launch will be going for $897, and full price for the whole course is actually going to be roughly $1,200. So you get an insane deal just for being the first 15 people to sign up, because we want to know what works and what doesn't. We want your feedback. We want you engaged. We want to see you transform your business and your life through this program. So these spots are going to fill up super fast. Don't wait. Also, if you think that you know someone that would really benefit and be interested, be sure to tell them about it. My email is right there. Give them my email and shoot me an email or click on the button below this video, and we'll set up a time to chat to make sure that this program is where you need to be right now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really hope that I've given you some great tools to apply to your to your marketing efforts. And really, it starts right now. It starts with you making that commitment to streamlining your marketing and to effectively planning what needs to happen and then putting those tools and those systems in place. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. It was great, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.